Towards the end of the last fall, you met with Clare Bus and the National Transport Authority about an ongoing dispute between them over monies owed. 50 days ago, I wrote to you to outline the situation that the contract had been pulled at the last minute and Clare Bus had effectively lost the tender that they had won. For those 50 days, Minister, I haven't received a reply from you. For those 50 days, those workers have been effectively laid off. For those 50 days, somebody else has operated the route. Minister, in my letter, I asked that a mediator be appointed between Clare Bus and the National Transport Authority. That hasn't happened yet. I would ask you to respond, particularly to the proposal of a mediator, and if not, how it is proposed to ensure that justice is done both for the passengers of Clare Bus, who rely on a fleet which has accessibility unlike most others, and for the staff of Clare Bus, particularly the drivers who provide such an excellent service right across rural County Clare.
Thank you, Deputy. Minister.
Thank you very much indeed, Deputy. If you did write to me, I don't know where you wrote to me. Do you know what address you wrote to me?
Yes, Minister. I wrote to your office. I wrote an email to your office. I also tried to left a message on what I was told was your mobile phone twice.
Okay, but you wrote to my office?
Yes, Minister.
In DTAS?
Yes, Minister, but if you didn't get the letter, I proposed a mediator be appointed. I can ask you now how you propose whether a mediator will be appointed.
If you wrote to my office up there, I'll make inquiries about it.
You know, but Minister, I'd like you to answer now in the 3 minutes and 40 seconds available whether you will appoint a mediator between Clare Bus and the National Transport Authority, because I also left messages on your telephone about this.
I've already answered that question, what the plans is, but let me tell you what the situation is. As of Monday, the 23rd of March, 2 local transport operators have been contracted by the NTA to deliver local link services to Clare. Okay.
The Minister, to my knowledge, hasn't answered the question of whether or not a mediator will be appointed, as I proposed in writing to him 50 days ago. I also think that since then, other deputies from Clare have written also proposing a mediator, so it shouldn't come as news. If it comes as news that all of these letters and all of these correspondences are being lost, then there really is a problem in his department. I expect there isn't. I would ask, will you appoint a mediator between Clare Bus and the National Transport Authority on monies owed between the two, such that Clare Bus can take up a contract for a tender which they've won? And there's 2 minutes.
You've no plans.
I have no plans to do so.
In that instance, I'd ask a follow-up question. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Does the Minister think it's acceptable for a company to be essentially blackballed as a lockdown is looming by a state authority? Because in this chamber, his colleagues criticised Debenhams for using the cover of the cover of lockdown to treat workers very badly. But what an authority, the National Transport Authority, under your supervision and under the aegis of your department has done, is effectively to withdraw the offer of a contract to a company which was owed, and the National Transport Authority accept that there's money owed because that company didn't have the cash flow to keep going. So those workers, without the possibility of protesting either here or anywhere else because there was a lockdown, were essentially silenced by the National Transport Authority. Are you saying that you intend to do nothing whatsoever about this?
Thank you, Deputy.
I think I've answered your question already. The contract has been awarded. The NTA has advised, and you were asking about the NTA there, that the direct award arrangements between Clare Bus for the provision of bus services did expire on the 1st of July. I'm sure the Deputy is aware of this, 2019, and that negotiations with Clare Bus on a new direct award contract were ongoing between July 2019 to October 2019 while maintaining bus services. The NTA considered the price proposals submitted by Clare Bus did not represent the best possible value compared with other direct award contracts for similar routes, and took the decision to undertake a competitive tendering process to secure the delivery of the relevant bus services. Arising from the tender process, Clare Bus emerged as the preferred bidder, with the signing of contracts, which is anticipating what you're saying, contracts due to take place in January 2020. A series of correspondence issued from NTA to Clare Bus between January and March 2020 in an effort to enter into a contractual relationship with the company. Clare Bus did not. I'm just going to finish this because you asked me for a reply. Clare Bus.
Under the cover of a lockdown. Do you think that's fair, Minister?
Go ahead, Minister.
Thank you. Clare Bus did not sign contracts by the deadline set by the NTA. The NTA considered that in the interests of customers across the county, it was left with no option but to put alternative measures in place. As of Monday, the 23rd of March, 2020, 2 local transport operators have been contracted by the NTA to deliver local link services in County Clare.
Thank you. Thank you.